What is up, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I am Chris 183.
Here we are. It is still the month of October. It is Alt-ober. We are discussing all things alternative, and we brought a guest on just for spite. Every time we bring him on, he goes, "You sons of bitches, you run a music podcast, and you only invite me on to talk about things other than music." Well, we are putting a Band-Aid on that paper cut this evening. And Chris, we have Jake Lloyd Bacon, our famous producer here.
Oh, I am very, very, very excited to finally talk about music on a music podcast. Who'd have fucking thought?
I know. We like to throw curveballs.
I will say, I couldn't talk about any other music that you usually talk about. So this is the only month I really could be on the program because I have zero to very little opinions about pop punk. So, you know, in fairness to you guys for not having me talk music, it's a very narrow window that I'm appropriate as a guest.
Fair enough.
Well, the reason why I'm so excited about this episode is because you and I, Jake, we agree on most things. And I think that, you know, when you think about music, I feel like maybe you're just a little bit more opinionated on music versus other stuff. Is that correct?
I mean, I'm opinionated on everything, as I'm told. but
therapist
yeah,
tells him.
Yeah, music and movies, I have strong opinions on, yes.
Most people are very opinionated about music. I know that Steve and I are. But anyway, so I guess I was incorrect. However, I anticipate this being a very spirited conversation about a band that I believe that we all love anyway. So we're most likely going to agree about most of the points, maybe. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk today about a band that you may or may not know from I guess as early as the late 80s, early 90s to now. And that band is Pearl Jam. If you don't know who Pearl Jam is, I don't know how to help you. I don't know what to do. I'm sure there's people out there that don't, but if you don't know them, go listen to them now. But today we're going to talk about an album that we chose. We picked this one very specifically. Actually, I may have picked it. I don't know, Steve. I think I did. But this is an album that was very, very near and dear to my heart and maybe yours as well. This was the follow-up to the smash hit Pearl Jam 10. This is the album Versus. And guys, initial impressions on this pick. Let's start there. What's your initial impressions on the pick of Versus for today?
Go ahead, Jake.
Well, you can ask Steve what mine was. It's an impossible thing. Like we're gonna jump right into hyperbole, but just know that it's truth coming from me. I think Pearl Jam is the greatest band of all time for a wide litany of reasons. And when you were like, "Hey, you want to come on and talk about Pearl Jam?" I was like, "Great, what album?" And you were like, Versus. And I said, "Yeah, but also what about every other perfect album that they have?" It's almost impossible to decide on a specific album to focus on because I don't know, like maybe there's one or two that I have less to say about, but for the most part, I mean, you know, throw a dart at your Pearl Jam collection and you'll hit a perfect album. So, you know, this is an early one. And so it was one that I listened to a ton. This is like peak, you know, a early teen Jake just being absolutely obsessed and going through multiple cassettes of Versus and 10. And so, I mean, yeah, I agree, Chris. Like, definitely a soft spot in my heart for this specific album.
Well, if you got it at the wall and you had that sticker, if you fucked up your CD or your cassette, they would replace it for free. I don't know if you remember that establishment.
That I don't remember. I mean, I remember the wall, but I didn't know that was a thing that they had.
Yeah, it was a blue sticker. And I remember like taking cases and like switching the cases because the sticker was on it. But they had this thing where if you like scratched your CD or ruined your cassette, then you could bring it in. Then they give you a new one. And maybe that's why they went out of business. I think FYE might have bought them out. I don't know, something like that.
Wingman Steve, do you remember where you bought Pearl Jam Versus, or did you own it?
I think I most likely got it from like the Columbia House,
Yeah.
buy 12 CDs for a penny, and then
Yeah.
every other one is like $29.99, and you're like stuck in the club, but then you get the thing in the mail.
All you got to do is just write a letter that says that you're your own parent and that they're dealing with a child, and then they have to abandon it. I got so many free CDs from Columbia House, but I definitely this was one of the first CDs I ever bought, but I had the cassette, and I bought the cassette at a Sam Goody in Sunrise Plaza, maybe Sunset Plaza on Deer Park Avenue. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, I remember that being there. I definitely bought Saliva's album at that store.
Oh no, that's not a positive memory.
No.
Why would you do that? Why
Click,
would you
click,
do that?
boom.
Don't even talk about that during this episode. They can say that for another one. But I don't remember getting this one, and I bought it. I know that it was bought whether for me or I bought it. My first ever CD ever with my very own, let's say not Discman, but it was like a boom box that played CD. Was Pearl Jam 10. That was the first CD that I still have it. It's in really bad shape, but I had to have this album when MTV started to play. I remember there was some sort of thing that they did where they started to play like Go and then Animal. I forget what it was, like a special. Obviously, Pearl Jam was huge at the time. I couldn't wait. Like I had to have this. So I don't remember whether I bought it or someone bought it for me, but somehow I ended up with it.
This is kind of a little bit of a hot button topic in my household because my wife fucking hates Pearl Jam. Like there's two bands where if they come on the radio, she forces me to switch the channel. It's Pearl Jam and Hootie and the Blowfish. And I don't know what her exact beef is. I know that there's like 2 Pearl Jam songs that she likes, but I basically can never listen to Pearl Jam if she's in the car or around. And I don't know what the real reason is.
Okay. I don't know if she's in earshot right now, but first off, you're wrong. Okay, if you can hear me. The only assumption that I have, Wingman Steve, is that she dated a douchebag who was really into Pearl Jam. That's somewhere in her past, there's some guy, because Pearl Jam is like objectively a good band, and they have such a wide dearth of styles that to just blanket hate them when they have so many different styles of songs and genres that they kind of cover seems to me like a stretch. It seems to me something personal has occurred in her life.
I'll have to drill down on that, and I'll have to find out what the answer is. And I'm somewhere in between, I think, the two of you and her, and in that I am a relatively casual Pearl Jam fan. I mean, I haven't gone out of my way to see them live. I've heard they've done some very epic shows, and they like put all their albums, the live ones, on CDs and stuff like that. But I like all the songs, all the singles. I can't say that I necessarily know anything after like 10 versus Vitalogy, but those 3 records had so many hits that like you just know by heart that are stuck in your brain that I would say that I am a Pearl Jam fan, just not like a super fan.
Sure. You're probably the way that I am with Blink-182 or something like that, where it's just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, like, I know some of those tunes. They sound good. That one album, I've listened to that one album a lot when I was a teenager, but everything after that, yeah, they're a band, right?
Chris, did you listen to the stuff like, 1996 after, like No Code, Yield, what is it, binaural?
Binaural. Jeez Louise, learn how to read. That Long Island
say
education. Jeez Louise.
Yes.
You know all those?
This is my interview question. I will answer it for you. Yes, I stuck with this band for a while, and to me, every album just continued to knock it out of the park up to Binaural. I did not love that one as much. So I loved Yield. I absolutely could not get enough of No Code. I obviously love Verses, and Vitalogy was very special in a lot of ways. It obviously a little bit different of an album versus some of the others, but so many memorable tracks, some of them weird, but I loved it. But past Binaural, I did lose touch a little bit with Pearl Jam. I have to go back and look at the list of discography. So.
I'll be right back. I just realized I'm going to go get a prop really quickly. I know this is an audio only podcast, but just one sec.
Yeah, that's no worries. And so Chris,
didn't know. I'm looking at so I'm looking at the discography, and to be honest with you, binaural, I bought that one. I have it. I own it. That was the last album that I owned.
Okay.
Was binaural.
I just realized as we're doing this, I don't have any CDs anymore. I put them all in storage. Like I have just these big Tupperware bins filled with all my CDs because at one point I just ripped them all. So I have the digital MP3s of them.
sounds familiar.
But the one thing, because I know it's right here next to me because we just moved and I just unboxed it. This is the one thing that I keep. Maybe you could describe it. It's one of those like weird bamboo things from the 70s. It looks like a bread
Looks
box.
like a bread box.
But it was meant to hold like probably floppy disks at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only thing that I keep. And this is essentially the entire Pearl Jam discography. I keep trying to show it to a thing that's not there. As well as like the remaining cassette tapes that survived.
Yeah, 2 cassette tapes and then looks like a bunch of CDs.
Yeah. So, and this includes, I think I have maybe 10 of the lives from that stage in the 2000s where they were all of these cardboard ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have all of this still, and this is the only thing I can't bring myself to put in a storage. Like I'm not going to put Pearl Jam in a storage like that. They deserve better than that.
Can't do Eddie like that. Let me just ask you guys a question. Maybe the reason why I fell off and I didn't listen all that much. Were there like major hit singles after Vitalogy? Did No Code yield binaural? Did they have major like radio singles that I can't remember?
Every single album has at least one huge single. And in fact, like watch TV and you'll realize how many songs, seriously, they have become such a popular like film and television score like machine that you'll realize that you're listening to Pearl Jam and to a lesser extent Eddie's solo album as well, like the Into the Wild. What's that the name of that movie?
Yeah,
Into the
that
Wild?
one. Yeah. Kid in the Bus.
Yeah. There's still absolute hits machine, but yeah, every album had a single. Every album had a big single.
Yeah, but I think to the other side of that, though, think about the movement away from the mainstream for them in a lot of ways. Like they stopped putting out videos. There was the absence, the fight against Ticketmaster. I don't know what. Honestly, that probably stopped me from ever seeing them because I really wanted to see them for a long time, and I could not find a way to get tickets or go to their shows. They would sell out. I just couldn't make it happen. And
wow. Really?
I never
So do
saw
they do
Pearl
it all
Jam.
like through their website? Is it like a Louis C.K. kind of thing?
Look, I think, but I just couldn't get tickets.
I've always been able to get tickets right from the venues themselves.
Oh, the venues, but not
Yeah,
tickets.
like
So they
I-
had
yeah.
a big thing with
Yeah.
Ticketmaster. I might have.
No,
missed that.
they were,
Yeah.
and it was that anti-Ticketmaster
Whoa.
thing where they were like, screw the whatever.
Well,
like
they were charging $11 a ticket, and people were paying $35 a ticket to go see them. And
Who
the idea
would not
was,
sign up to pay $35 to see them now?
why?
I mean,
Well, you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, yeah. I mean that's the famous quote from the big Ticketmaster like thing from how many years ago. I'm sure those prices, adjust for inflation, of course, but.
I mean, the other thing is they're not necessarily going to come to Pittsburgh. I mean, like they didn't come out of their way to come here, and not that I remember anyway.
Really?
It wasn't. I mean,
I
they
find that
have over the
shocking.
years, since then, and I'm talking like the early '90s when I didn't have a ton of
Gotcha.
money. I was 15 years old, and I just couldn't find a way to get to a show because
Gotcha,
it wasn't.
sure.
My buddy worked at National Record Mart, and he was able to get tickets anytime, but that was Ticketmaster.
Right. Yeah.
So, this was not, so I could never see them. Plus after 10, like, I don't even know, like, I know that this album, I don't know if they put out a video. Obviously MTV was really big. I watched a lot of it. I don't know if they did a video for any of these that was widespread.
They did concert videos.
Yeah, I heard. So they didn't do any
like
like real video videos starting
right.
with this album.
yes. Exactly.
Jeremy, I think was that the last video?
No, I think Rearview Mirror might have had a concert video,
Did it?
and it might have been Animal was the one. I can't remember. It all kind of blends together, but because they're all kind of the same, because they're all like a blend of some weird aesthetic and then concert and tour footage.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys, as big Pearl Jam fans, does Eddie Vedder and his political views does it skew your thoughts on some of the music? Do you find
No,
yourself
It makes me like him more.
Okay, yeah, like so me, like when I listen to like Howard Stern, I idolize Howard Stern, and like a lot of times he'll have these artists on, and I'm like, I didn't like that artist, but then they talk to Howard, and I'm like, I like that artist, and sometimes you find yourself thinking and agreeing with them. So you feel like, so Chris, you're saying political views don't matter at all.
I don't give a crap about that stuff to begin with. I don't listen to any of that. I don't care. So I just want to listen to music. And
I feel like Pearl Jam is early crediting for making me a somewhat of a political person. Like, I'll never forget like watching the MTV Unplugged and him writing pro-choice in a marker on his arm. And at however old I was, fucking 10, I don't know, I was really young, not knowing what that meant, and then asking and inquiring. And at that point, you've got like Rock the Vote on MTV is happening, and like MTV is trying to have this whole political movement. And I feel like that era is kind of what solidified, at least I know a lot of people kind of in my generation, maybe not necessarily you two, but like, I know, I think that those moments that Pearl Jam is a part of, I think they're kind of like paramount in sort of my generation's like push into being more politically active.
I can see that. I think for me, a lot of the political nature and what these songs were about was way over my head at the time, because this came out October 19th, 1993. So I'm 10 years old, and I'm watching MTV, and I'm listening to the radio, and I'm singing Don't Call Me Daughter, but I have no fucking idea what this song is about. And pretty much same thing with all these songs we'll get into one by one that have deeper meanings than their titles. But this stuff was,
if you could even understand what the fuck he's saying half the time.
That's true.
So I have a game I'd like you guys to play, and that's Sing Yellow Ledbetter for me right now.
Jake, you can take that one.
His name is Chris 183.
Might as well be the lyrics.
Every now and then he makes a clicky sound with his mouth when he speaks.
There was no lyrics in this.
Those are the lyrics, right?
There was no lyrics here, right? There was lyrics, I believe, in 10:10, but not in verses. I don't think there were lyrics.
No, that's not true. There's some clarity. So I have a theory. I don't know how you structure this thing. I know you sent me an email, but let's be honest, I'm not looking at that. I have a theory about this album and its position in the Pearl Jam film, or I don't know, albumology. What do you call it? Discography. There we go. Thank you. Discs. They sell them in discs for
inographies. Yeah.
And that is like verses was, 10 is their arrival. 10 is like, we're a fucking band. We're the best. We're here. This is what we're doing. I think verses is, if 10 is the tree trunk, verses is all of the different sprouts of all the branches that Pearl Jam then becomes for the next 20 years. I think that the styles and genres that are maybe it's not as a wide variety as something like a No Code or Vitalogy, but I think that all of those little sprouts started here. You've got like, you've got the driving rock grunge stuff like Go and Animal and Dissident, which feels like 10. It feels like their debut album. But then you've got like the more folksier side of him, and you're getting that softer tone that he sings in with songs like Daughter, Elderly Woman. You've got the weird kind of oddities and even the humorous nature of Pearl Jam with stuff like Glorified G and Rats. That stuff would become really more prevalent in Vitalogy and No Code. You also have that kind of U2 inspired broad anthem like rock with stuff like Leash, which feels very much Yield to me. Yield is one of my all-time favorite albums along with Verses here. And I feel like there's a lot of that big, broad anthem stuff that, again, those seeds are kind of planted here. You have the weird ethereal tracks like a White Male American. And, we would eventually get a lot of that weird stuff 20 years later with Gigaton. Recently, there's stuff on Gigaton that sounds like WMA. And then you also, to the politics, all of the stuff that I feel like there's definitely a little bit of political stuff being spoken about on 10, but with Yield, with WMA, with Blood, there's a lot more of like direct political opinions and societal opinions that are on this album. And of course, Binaural and Riot Act are super political albums that all feel like, again, they kind of start from the seeds here. Even the funk, even you've got like again, Blood,
There's
that
funk,
the Wah Wah and that funk song, like, that stuff that you were going to see in a bunch of B-sides, like Dirty Frank and a lot of that stuff that comes later, like, Red Mosquito. Like there's so many stuff that comes down the line that I think really truly starts with verses. And I think it's why like this is, while 10 is super important for putting them on the map, I think verses is like a roadmap of the next 20 years of this band.
I don't think you're like, I love those points you made, but I didn't think you heard what I said at all. I didn't say anything close to that. I was basically saying there was no lyrics in verses, so I didn't understand what he was talking about. Verses 10, where there were lyrics, I believe, I'm going back how many years, I could go down and get the CD and you have them right in front of you.
Oh yeah,
so
I do. You meant like written out lyrics.
Yeah, because we were talking about Yellow Ledbetter and we were talking about not understanding what he's saying. And I'll tell you what, it was mind blowing to go onto Spotify and see the lyrics. And some of these words, I never, ever, ever knew what he was saying ever up until now. It's crazy.
Every single album of Pearl Jam has handwritten lyrics, and this is including verses.
Okay, and they're all in there? Or is it just like scribble to like...
No, I mean, some of them are harder to read, but maybe it's because I read Chicken Scratch, but they're all here.
Yeah, that looks like a bunch of scratch and like doodles.
I mean, they're insanity. Also, a lot of this crap was written in studio, like WMA.
Yeah, I heard this album was a little more difficult for Eddie and for all of them to record because they were in like a nice space, and he was kind of used to recording like in a less, I don't want to say ghetto, but like he's not used to the pristine production and the money being put up in a hotel. I read something like he was sleeping in cars and he was sleeping in saunas to just try and like get himself into this lower mindset where he could feel more creative.
Right. And that's part of the story of White Male American, was that apparently he just opted to not bathe for like days. And so he was he stunk. His hair was just matted. His teeth he didn't brush his teeth in like days, and he was just pounding coffee and who knows what else at that point in time. And he was literally hanging outside of the studio space with a friend of theirs who's black, and cops rolled up and started harassing the guy. And Eddie's whole thought was like, I look like a crackhead right now. Like I look like garbage, and you're harassing this guy who's perfectly put together and looks great. And that's where WMA came from, because he got so upset he got to a fight with these cops. But yeah, all because he looked like garbage, and he was trying to, like you said, kind of maybe combat the fact that the label was like, here's a ton of money, go make another one of those really successful albums of yours.
And so, Chris, in choosing verses, when we were talking particular, so Jake obviously had that whole tree reference with the leaves and the branches and the beautiful things. Is there a reason why you picked this one over 10 or over Vitalogy or any other one?
No, I mean, I could have went, I honestly could have went to any of those other ones. I think that the only reason I went to verses is it just holds a special place because it was so eagerly anticipated. I listened to 10 so much when it came out, and I love that album so much for so long. And then just to have the next one and for it to hit like this album did and really be as good as it was. I mean, that's hard to do. When you have an album like 10, to come out with another album that's, arguably it can be just as, if not more enjoyable. Man, what a feat, right? So I think that, again, this one just was somewhere just deep down inside. I've been waiting to talk about this one since 1993. So
all right, well, now is the stage, and I'm gonna get in. Go ahead.
One more thing that I want to mention. So this is one of back in I don't even think I was in high school. Maybe like late 90s. I did not have a record player, but I thought it would be a good idea to pick up a couple records just for fun, to keep them in the plastic for whatever reason. And I got Nirvana Unplugged in New York, but I also got Pearl Jam Versus. And one of the things I really loved about this album was the cover of the album was like a different version of is that a sheep or something or a llama or whatever it is on the front. His head was like turned a different way, and I'd never seen that before, and I thought that was awesome.
It was it was from the same photo shoot, but it was the photo that they didn't use. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I kept that. I had to buy it because of that, and I never opened it.
You still have that?
Yeah, I never opened it.
That's awesome.
But now you have a record player. Are you tempted to listen to it?
No, actually, technically, I do not because I gave it to my daughter.
I thought you became a vinyl guy.
I absolutely did, but I need a better record player, so I gave her the one that's not as nice.
Could you be tempted to open it and listen to it, or is that just a collector's item that will go untouched?
It probably isn't really worth that much, so maybe.
That shit would not last 3 seconds in my hands. That would be on the turntable. Playing. That sounds like an experience for sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, what I was going to say is that I'm coming at it from a little bit of a different perspective. I think most of these songs, like I did own this album, but it wasn't one that was in like significant. Like I was like an Aerosmith guy in the mid 90s. Like I listened to a lot of Aerosmith, and not that there wasn't room for other stuff.
I have a very vivid memory of your obsession with the artist formerly known as Prince and Jamiroquai. So you were in a real unique space.
I like Aerosmith. Listen, Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. Jamiroquai's that one album was fine.
But you were really into it. You
I
had
didn't
Jamiroquai.
have like a fucking hat or anything.
Oh my God. You had the posters on your wall. You were all about
no
it.
Way.
Yeah.
I owned the record most of the
You
time.
had a hat. You had the Jamiroquai
I didn't have
hat.
the
He did no. In fairness, Chris, he didn't have the hat, but he did try to slide across his floor all day long.
Oh, I tried. My room did not move the same way that video did.
But
Unfortunately,
also, I'm picking fun, but also, Steve, I have to give you credit for getting me into Prince. Couldn't give two
Prince is
shits about Prince.
fantastic.
That's different.
Couldn't give two shits about him growing up, but you were like obsessed with that song 7. And then I
Seven's
became
a good
obsessed
song.
with that song, and then I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm a Prince fan now." At however old we were, preteens.
yeah.
But,
I mean, that's my dad's influence, but Aerosmith is really where I kind of started getting into rock music, and maybe I have a cow that has an Aerosmith logo on it, kind of like the goat on the front of.
Did you tie like a bunch of scarves to the wheel of your car to like be like Steven Tyler?
Oh, no, I never tried to like look like him. I did try and do the like the screamy thing, but it still doesn't work. Obviously,
Oh, we can tell.
Well, it doesn't work for Steven Tyler anymore
That
either.
sounds like a seagull.
He can't sing anymore. Anyways, what I was trying to say was that I've definitely heard this album in its entirety, like in the world, but a lot of these songs are like somewhat fresh. Like they're not ingrained in my memory, so I may have a little bit of a different opinion or just something that's a little more fresh.
Honestly, I'm kind of jealous of that because I would love to hear like early Pearl Jam. Whenever someone says to me they're not a Pearl Jam fan, they just start getting into it. I'm so excited because like you get to hear the shit for the first time. Another Dragon Wagon Radio podcaster and YouTuber, Matt Kessler, he runs Too Many Records. It started as a web series. We did a podcast. Now he literally owns a record shop in Portland called Too Many Records. He opened up a brick and mortar store, but he got into Pearl Jam when we were doing the podcast, and he was never really into it. Wasn't really a grunge guy. And it was like, I don't know, it's like I got to live vicariously my childhood through him once again. So I'm a little bit jealous of you getting to hear this stuff a little bit fresh and not being so familiar with it as Chris and I.
I mean, only like 5 songs, right? The ones like there's so many songs that are just like everybody knows, including me.
Right,
So yeah, 4 or 5 songs. So the record itself, quick stats. Again, it came out in 1993 on Epic Records. It was produced by Brennan O'Brien and Pearl Jam. It went 7 times platinum in the United States, so it sold over 7 million records. It actually sold 950,000 copies in the first 5 days, which was a record, a SoundScan record at the time, which was broken a few years later.
Wow.
But it was the fastest, quickest selling record at the time.
Did it say who they beat? Who the record was prior? Any idea?
It did, but I don't have. I know that
of course,
Garth Brooks ended up beating them.
Hey, listen, it was the 90s.
It went to number 1 on the Billboard 200. It was the number 6 album on the year-end Billboard 200 charts. Billboard does this 1990s, like the full decade. It's the number 46 record, according to them, of the entire decade. So it's very well established. It's very well liked. And that's all I got for stats. And it's got a goat on the front. I want to see, Chris, can you take a picture? Can you find that? And we'll post it on Instagram of the alternate goat.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I can, or I'll dig up actually, you know what? The album is probably still at my parents' house. So
I do think it is a llama. I had a lot of arguments about this in my childhood.
It's a llama?
I do believe it is a llama, if I'm not mistaken. The fur, that's not a goat fur. There's like a llama. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sheep. Yeah, maybe it's an alpaca.
We'll go with that. We'll go with alpaca.
It looks lower to the ground. That's why I thought goat. But I guess the camera angle, you can't really tell.
Yeah, it was the 90s. Everything had to be ultra wide fisheye lens.
And no color.
You know, Steve, should we open a shop and call it High School Never Ends?
What would we have a shop, hsnpod.com.
No, I mean, we could sell like, I get it. I know.
Pop punk records? Pop punk records.
We'll sell cassette tapes.
Oh.
Cassette tapes have made like a little tiny bit of a comeback in that a lot of pop punk bands will put out a cassette tape, but you can only buy it online, like through them directly. I couldn't imagine that they manufacture all that many.
We'll make our own.
I got another fun stat for you about Pearl Jam versus Steve. Last Pearl Jam CD to ever come in plastic.
Oh, so all the other ones. I remember Vitalogy was that paper shit, right?
Yep, yeah, I have them all right here. Every other album comes in essentially cardboard.
Is that an environmental move? Yeah. Okay, the tracks.
Very cool.
Makes sense. So Jake,
yours
you didn't.
By the way, Jake, yours is in really good shape. Your verses. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
you
mean-
kept it so nice.
Well, the case is cracked, but I can replace that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was always one of those like nerdy kids when it came to like my CDs, where I was like, I never put the CD in the wrong case, and I was always very meticulous about not touching the bottom of it, and I was very like, I was one of those careful kids. When you grow up poor, anything you get is precious.
I did that for a while until I got a visor for my car, and then everything
Right,
went in
yeah.
the visor.
That's fair. I can understand that.
Everything gets scratched to hell. So Jake, you didn't read the thing that we sent, but what we do at this point in time is we're going to go through track by track.
Let's
and
do
we're
it.
gonna talk one at a time about all of these songs.
We can't do that yet, Steve. I'm sorry. We didn't play the game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had a
We
game.
didn't play the game.
Yeah.
Got to play the game. You guys have to guess the top 5 highest streamed songs for Pearl Jam on Spotify. Okay? Top 5, and you can go back and forth, and let's see if you can get them all. Okay? So Jake, we'll start with you, and you don't have to say what number it is, just you have to pick one of the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to argue that Yellow Ledbetter's got to be in there nowadays.
That is incorrect.
Oh, wow.
That is incorrect. That is
What
not
a terrible
in the top 5.
place to start, Jake. You
I
start
wouldn't,
with the
because-
easy ones. Jeremy.
The reality is, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not in there, because
Okay, Jeremy is number 5.
see, that's
Jeremy's
surprising.
Number 5.
Because I would my association of this game is you have to realize there's so many people who are listening to Pearl Jam now from later things because of like I said, songs that were in fucking movies and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if Wish List might not be up there.
Is that your guess?
Sure, why not?
Incorrect. Steve, you're next.
0 for 2. Even Flow.
Even Flow is number 1.
That is-
625 million streams.
That makes me so happy, and I am so incredibly surprised at that.
You guys are missing 3, and one of them I think is a glaring, like, easy one. But Jake,
do we get hints? Are they all from 10? I assume they would be later songs.
they're not all from 10.
I would assume some of them are from later songs, but is Black one of them?
Black is number 3.
Yeah, there we go.
Black is number 3. So you're missing number 2 and number 4.
Daughter.
Daughter is not. You guys both get one more guess.
I'm gonna guess that I bet you it's one of those fucking rare B-side ones that just became so popular, like Soldier of Love, or no, Last Kiss.
Last Kiss is number 4.
There it is.
All you're missing is number 2.
I'm not gonna get this.
Alive.
Yeah, that's my guess.
That is correct. That's
Thank
number
you, Jake.
2.
There.
Boom.
Very good.
I'm
So
surprised
you
at
guys
that.
won.
I'm glad that 10 is so highly represented. I would assume because of the Spotify user base that the people who listen to Spotify get more of the radio singles. Do you know what I mean? Like from later on. I'm surprised.
Yeah, but you know what surprises me though? I mean, the highest one is 625 million. I thought that maybe this would have hit the billions because of the length of time that this band has been out in popularity, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Were they a late Spotify edition though? I could see them holding
Like,
out.
were they mad at Spotify and didn't want to
Yeah.
be part of the streaming
I don't
thing?
know.
I could see that.
Much like Prince, I could see them holding out for a long time. Yeah.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace.
We did that because people like that game and they like to play along at home.
That's
So I
fun.
wonder if you guys got all 5 out there.
All right, can we go into the album now?
Yes, we can. Let's do it.
Wait, we're at 40 minutes. We got to wrap this up.
Speed round. Well, there's
getting
only
going.
12 tracks, so
Yeah, I know. And
And I'm gonna probably have the least to say out of any of you guys. So we'll see. Jake, start us off with Go.
All right,
Go.
Start us
one
off.
one of the single best album start songs of all time, period. I told you shit was getting hyperbolic today, but when I say it, I mean it, and it's the truth. Go is one of the best songs. I love that it starts with this like strange, odd, low bass and drum groove. It temporarily dissolves into absolute chaos, and then it has this massive unison start to the song, like that perfect phrase that actually begins things. The fact that the volume picks up, the clarity picks up. I don't know whose idea this was to mix the opening of the song like this, but that is how you start a fucking record.
This has got to be, like, for me, top 5 all-time best first songs on an album, maybe top 3. What you said times a million, like that first, even that bass line that just tricks you into that. Oh, it's going to be that tempo. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be this. And it just explodes. And I love that so much. The first time, Steve, I can't wait for you to say something, because the first time I heard this, like, it just blew my mind. This song is amazing. It was just pure energy the whole time. And it was fairly simplistic, vocally or lyrically, I should say. There were the periods during the song where it's just 3 words he just throws out, but the way that he does it, like, where he says suck, blood, touch, like, it's just so much power behind it, and the music all just goes in perfect harmony with it. Amazing drums on this track. Love the high-pitched guitar lines and the choruses that lead up to that chorus, that sound, don't go on me. Oh my God. You can't get much better.
And I love that they started with this specific track, because it is such a driving track, and it's not surprising because this riff was written by fucking Dave, the drummer. This was the only track on the record that he's credited as the primary like songwriter for the, and it makes sense. He was literally just doodling around on his guitar, on like one of their guitars in the studio, playing in drop D, some like weird like chugga thing. So it makes sense why the drum line is so perfectly kind of unified with that track. But God, it's so good. Also, listen, best song about a pickup truck of all time. Fucking come at me, country music. Okay, you're not the only ones who can sing about trucks. All right.
That's a hot take there. This was the first single on the album too. It got to like number 3 on the rock album. So to me, it's just not the first time I'm hearing this or anything like that, but it's super chaotic. Yeah. It's jammy to start off. The snare comes in super high. It makes sense that you said the drummer wrote it. And I think this is the drummer's first album with the band. I don't think he was on 10 from what I read. No. And to me, this song just kind of like kicks the ass. When I listen to it, it actually hurts my wrists because I don't have good wrists. But the bass, the speed of the bass, I'm like, geez, like that. It just sounds impressive. I don't know how to play the bass or the guitar. I can play Guitar Hero. I can do that pretty well, but that's more fingers than wrist. My hands hurt listening to it. They have, I mean, pretty classic, like, very 90s, like shred guitar solos. Lyrically, very simple, sometimes just one word lines or sentences, Chris, as you said. But yeah, I mean, this starts off with a bang. It's called Go. I think it works really well as the first track.
I think it's also like, this is one of the reasons why I love Pearl Jam so very much, is that I think there's a litany of reasons why I think they work. One, of course, is that I think the most successful bands are the bands where each of the members is different, where it's not, with all the respect to your whole genre of pop punk, it does sort of seem like most of the bands, like they all listen to the exact same inspirations. Most of them kind of are the same sort of musicians. I get it's a genre. It might not be my genre, so I don't mean to dog on it. But what I'm trying to get at is like all of the long lasting bands, the bands that stick around forever, they all have such unique identities, and they all bring whatever they do. They're not all trying to sound collectively like something. They are all just doing what they do, and whatever that combination is, whatever that recipe is, makes the meal. It's not like we're all aiming to make the same meal. And I think that specifically, like, this song is a great example of how, like, one of the reasons they're so successful is because of Eddie's commitment to spirit and soul. Like, Eddie's voice and Eddie's commitment to putting everything into a song about a pickup truck to the point where it's so soulful that it sounds like it's about a ton of other things. The lyrics are so open to interpretation. I remember when I was a kid, I thought this song was about Kurt Cobain for a while because it sounds like a song about a friend who's self-destructive. And I was like, oh, I bet you this is about Kurt. Like I had, you come up with all these theories when you're young and you don't have, fucking Google to just like search for shit about like, what does this mean? And I think the fact that, the lyrics are so open to interpretation. His emotion is so raw and he's just so passionate. Like, I don't know, this is one of those songs where if you were to be like, hey, out of the 1,000 Pearl Jam songs there are, pick one that defines the band, this one might be up on my short list.
Did he say that it was a pickup truck? Like I never knew that.
Yeah, it's about this was literally about his shitty pickup truck
that's like,
that he was fighting with at the time because and he dramatized the story about it like dying on the freeway and he's screaming like, God damn it, don't go on me now.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was about a person. Oh wow. I don't know if I like that as much.
Don't go on me. You're right. That lyric is just so open to interpretation.
Right?
It could mean anything. You would never think that don't go on me would mean don't
Please.
stop
Go.
functioning car.
Yes. Yeah. Don't go on me now. Like that's the kind of thing that you would say in that phrase. You would say like, fuck, don't go on me. Oh shit, don't go on me now. If you were on a highway and you heard the sputter or,
I think you did that on your cross country trek in the snow and stuff like that.
Don't remind me.
Sorry.
All right. Well, I don't think that we slow down whatsoever when we go to the track 2, and that's Animal. I think this might have been the first track or the first song that I heard probably on MTV when they previewed it. And once again, it blew my mind when I heard this first and foremost. Like, I love the song. First of all, the hook on the song is just amazing. It's bonkers. It's just crazy. I love it. It's crazy how much of this song. So it's a little bit different in a way, and I'll get into that now. So I have written down like this song is very musically driven versus lyrically driven. Like there's a lot more music on this particular track, guitars, just musically versus what Eddie Vedder actually says. There's really not a ton of lyrics here from what I gather and listening to it. And that's okay. Like it's very simplistic in the message. I'd rather be with an animal, and he says it over and over again. But every time he does say something on this track, he once again, just like with Go, he says it with so much impact and so much emotion. And I think Eddie Vedder obviously is just a legend beyond a legend. I mean, his voice, his delivery is, almost unparalleled. But the way that he does that on this track makes every single line stick. And it's also really fun to sing to. It's memorable. It's just an easy song to really get into and love. And it also kind of has a lot of jam bandy stuff in this song. So, I can be honest, like sometimes when it gets too crazy with that for other bands and other songs, I don't love it. Like I don't like a ton of all over the place, but it just seems like it fits here. I don't know. It just seems like it goes with this song. And maybe that's because I love, Eddie's voice. Maybe that's because I love Pearl Jam. Maybe because the melody itself was just so infectious. But for some reason, I thought this was a total song, and I loved it.
If I had to guess, I'd think it's because if you're not a fan of the more jam band chaos, it fits here thematically. Like literally the song that if I'm not mistaken, I've always interpreted as being about child abuse. It's like really fucking heartbreaking lyrics, but sang with such passion and anger. But I do think that like there's a little bit of like animalism and like that kind of chaotic wild side of what you would assume an actual, if you were taking it literally like an animal. I think maybe that sort of jam band stuff plays into kind of the theme of the track, which maybe is why you don't mind it in this.
No, that's a good point. It's a good point. And I always thought that it was actually a song about the llama on the cover of the album and how he'd rather be with him. So my idea in my head was Eddie with like chasing it around and catching it and giving it a hug. And, I'd rather be with an animal, but I guess not.
No bestiality, kids. This
No, I didn't say that. It's just a friend. It's a friend of his.
Why was
Song-
that the leap, Steve?
This song, he gave he wants to be with an animal.
No,
this song
Oh, jeez, wait.
is the breakdown of the way this song basically goes is muffled numbers, 2-line verse, chorus, 2-line verse, chorus, 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 muffled numbers. And it's a huge fucking hit. And it's genius. And it is more about the music. But I always like to look at the construction of the song and just say, like, how the fuck did these guys do something like this with something that's constructed like that?
I think it's because they figured out how to tap into in the grunge alt rock, whatever the fuck you want to call their genre, tap into this brand of rock's version of the fucking 70s fucking Allman Brothers. Allman Brothers fucking One Way Out is 3 goddamn words and it goes on for 45 minutes and it's a fucking banger. Like, I think this is just like, it's that 70s soul that is so much an inspiration of, of Eddie that I think kind of like blends itself that like, keep it fucking simple, stupid. Isn't that the saying, Kiss, right? I think that's kind of what makes it so good.
Yeah,
also,
they're saying very little, and then people can interpret it as saying
Exactly.
a whole lot. And Chris, you hit it. The riff in the song is amazing. Even the muffled Eddie vocals, which one outside could be like, "That's silly." They like how many times can you get that in your head? Be like,
The
like
5 against 1, 5 again,
Yeah.
5 again.
it's just it's kind of infectious. And one thing again that stood out to me on this as well is the drummer Dave. He is very good. I don't know I don't know all of his stuff and I don't know the longevity of it, but you can hear with the music they're putting together that he is very good, and that's apparent on this track.
Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing more to add. I mean, it's like you said, I love the dueling guitar solos Mike and Stone have on this. I love the chaos. Like, and again, this is one of those tracks where I really feel like you feel different. You feel the different personalities all coming together to create what this is, because there is this insane bass groove. There's this like I said, this very 70s kind of vibe. Eddie's doing his whole fucking other thing. And Jeff is, essentially, I don't know. Everybody's in their own world here, which is what I love about it.
And so when you mention personalities, I'm actually just curious. Do you know, like, have you heard like interviews with Mike, Stone, Jeff, Dave? Like, do you know like the voices of these guys? Because so many people know Eddie Vedder, and he's quite the front man.
All of the other drummers know, right? Like I pretty much from Jack Irons on, I know, like, but for the most part, yes, I am very well. I have followed Pearl Jam for forever. Only in the last few years have I sort of not listened as much. Like, I haven't listened to the new album a ton. I didn't listen to Gigaton quite as much as the other previous albums, but I'd chalk that up to just life getting in the way of the things that, were easier for us to enjoy when we were younger. But I mean, I absolutely love any interview that I can catch with these guys. The reality is I'm always more interested in Stone Gossard, Jeff Ament, and Mike McCready talking than Eddie. I
found
Eddie.
their most recent interview with Howard was it was very long. It actually was kind of boring. I didn't dig it. But most of the time I like it.
The only reason is because I feel like Eddie is one of those people who I kind of, the less I know, the better. It's like when it comes to Pearl Jam, so I've been a musician for the vast majority of my life. I've played in a lot of bands. I have only even attempted to learn a few Pearl Jam songs, and it's sort of because I've noticed that the songs that I know how to play, I enjoy less. It's kind of like I don't want to know how the magic is made. So like I feel like I want a little bit more mystery. Alexandra, my fiance, is like, she just listened to Eddie on Smart Lists, and she was telling me all these stories. I was like, I kind of don't want to know this stuff. Like I like that mystery. Whereas I'm a little bit more invested in the people who are kind of less, well known, like Jeff and stuff, who does like local music festivals and who's just this like weird old hippie. And I don't know. I fucking love the dudes.
I haven't heard that Smartless yet, but I don't know. I don't know that I need to listen to him muffled for an hour while the other guys are trying to like crack jokes, and he's talking about politics and why he doesn't want to play Jeremy. So I don't know. I'll probably pass on that.
I don't think that's a fair assessment of what it is, even having not heard it. But listen, you do you, boo.
Maybe I'll listen to it. That's fun. All right, so daughter, I'll kick this one off, and honestly, this is another one of those songs that's just a giant hit. Where at least for me, as like a teenager, like I don't know, I didn't really get it. I didn't really get what it was about, but I get it now. And the content of this song is really sad. Like it was over my head as a youth. You know, it's talking about a child who's abused by their parents because they don't understand. She's got a learning disability, and I didn't get it. I would sing along with it and have no idea what it was because it's just a catchy ass song, simply constructed again, but just done so well. And I think studying a little bit for this conversation here, it actually made me appreciate this even more because getting into it again, it kind of made me feel real, you know, having a daughter myself now, and you know, hearing all the bad shit that's out there in the world and these terrible stories. To hear a song, I mean, he's really good at taking concepts and things that bug him, or taking little stories of something that he finds and turning it into a song that doesn't have to be smashing it down your throat.
Right.
It can be nuanced, it can be subtle, but the message is there if you're looking for it. And I never looked for it. Now that I look for it, I appreciate it for sure.
I always felt like Daughter was like the sequel to Jeremy. Like Daughter was like, oh, we want another one of those where it still drives. It's a little bit softer, obviously, but it's that same spirit. And that's something, again, talking about all the different seeds, like it's that storytelling part of Pearl Jam that like it never goes away, that continues on forever, where like not everything is super personal. Like you said, something could be about a news story he read or somebody he met, and it could be like outward experiences. And he's such a great storyteller that, yeah. Daughter is again, it's one of those songs that's, it speaks for itself. And it's a testament to how good they are at starting a tune, because I do feel like a lot of their songs, they just start so well that you like lean in. Like they're the sort of band where if you're going to skip a song, you're going to skip it like after 2 minutes, not after the first 30 seconds, if that makes sense. Like they make you lean in, they make you keep listening. And the opening of Daughter is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's time. I mean, it's timeless. It's legendary. Like you could listen to that riff, and I would be hard pressed to find somebody that hasn't heard that before. It's so. Was this a single? Like this wasn't the first single, but this was a single.
Yeah, this was the second single. Yeah. It got to #1 on the rock and the alternative charts, and 33 on the Hot 100.
For some reason, this one stuck out. So when I first got this album, and it may not have been right away, I may have gotten the album after a couple singles. I can't remember honestly, but a couple buddies of mine were into Pearl Jam, and so the one guy, we kept telling him like, "Oh yeah, I got the new Pearl Jam CD. It has Daughter on it." And then the second guy told him the same thing. Yeah, it has Daughter on it, and a couple others. And then I come back and I says, "Hey, did you get that new Pearl Jam? It has Daughter." And then we kept saying that over and over again. And eventually he like got really mad because he was like, "Why do you guys keep saying that? And you keep telling me it has Daughter on it." And that was it. There was no other punchline or anything, but it was funny at the time, and I'll stick by that. But guys, I had no idea what this is about, just like Steve. So I just sang it, and Jeremy Part 2 fits perfectly. You're right. I didn't think about that.
Also, you said that you've never seen them live, either one of you?
Never.
Nope.
So this is the band that I've seen live more than any other band. They're actually arguably one of the only bands I'll still continue to go see live, just because concerts have become a hassle in my old stubborn age. But this is their cover song. So they always end Daughter with essentially this kind of jam bandy groove that will bleed into another song that is a cover, but keeping the groove of Daughter, like not breaking it. And I feel like that's always such a fun thing when you go and see them live, is like, oh, what are they going to do at the end of this? And one of my favorite ones was I saw them in Madison Square Garden. It was actually, they made a DVD of like the 2-night performance. And of course, I think the night that they used Daughter was the night I wasn't there. It was the other one. But Ben Harper came out and they did one of his songs over the end of Daughter. And I just remember like fucking, that was like Ben Harper and Pearl Jam on the same stage. I was like mind blowing.
It's just like Blink 182 when they play "Damn It," that last bridge, they always throw in another song. Sometimes
do they
it's
really?
No Scrubs.
Really?
Sometimes it's we will never get back together.
See?
Sometimes it's family reunion. You have absolutely no idea what it's going to be, and you're at the edge of your fucking seat.
You know what?
That's true.
I like that. I like that there is a similar thing for Blink 182.
That's true. Sometimes they do Skilo. No, I wish, and
that's funny.
It's very good.
But what's interesting is I've never seen them, but I had this T-shirt that was a concert T-shirt, and it was Pearl Jam "Don't Give Up." I think it was a European tour in like the early 90s. Actually, it's the European summer tour of 1992, and then it listed a bunch of stuff on the back of where they were at. But I wore this shirt so much that it just disintegrated, like the shirt itself.
Yeah.
And I had to have the logo, so I cut the logo out on the front. I kept that, and then I bought it again. I found it again. I don't know what kind of shape it's in these days, but I love that shirt. I wore it like every single day, but I never saw them live. So it's just nuts.
I have quite a few Pearl Jam shirts, and they're all exactly like that. They're all just like holes, and I'm like, it just goes folded up in like the bottom of the closet in a little binder. There's did you find it?
This is the shirt that I had. Right
That's
here.
fantastic. So I had one that was like a little girl, and she was like sitting in front of something on the floor, and there was a bunch of crayons spilled out, and then there was a gun, and she was reaching for the little crayons, and it said like 9 out of 10 kids choose crayons or something like that. And then it said Pearl Jam on it. And I wore the shit out of that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I got yelled at for wearing that to Deer Park High School, Steve, because
you got something in your throat when you said
I did.
you
Yeah,
went to high school.
High school. Listen, I just wanted to honor your Jewish heritage by hacking every now and then.
There's no Jews at Deer Park High School. Trust me.
Yeah, that's not true. Tell Bernie that.
Yeah, we were the only two.
My memories are very different. But anyways, it's because I made friends with the only 2 Jews. So I was like, God, this town is filled with Jews.
Jews are nice people. What can we say?
There's a reason. I needed.
Anyways, if you have a bunch of T-shirts, I would highly recommend making a T-shirt blanket out of them. There's a company that you can send your shirts to, and they will create a blanket for you. I got it done with a bunch of my band T-shirts, and cool. Now they're preserved because they don't fit me anymore.
Do not listen to him. Do not do that, because these T-shirts, if you have them from the 90s, are worth money. If you are into that and you want to sell, even the used ones are worth a lot of money out there.
Jakes have like holes in the armpits.
They buy them. People buy them.
They smell how much like Jake in the 90s.
Yeah, you know how much I stunk as a teenager? Jeez,
it doesn't matter. People love, like, they'll clean it, dude. I'm telling you.
Jake had ferrets. I remember.
Okay, I don't know how shredded they are, but I'm like, I have this heart-shaped box T-shirt for Nirvana that I swear sold for like over $500. And
they sell that in Kohl's now.
It's not the same one. It's not the same one.
I have been seeing a lot of like random like Nirvana and Soundgarden shirts at like Kohl's, and I'm like, what is happening? But
this is different. So don't listen to Steve, please. Listen to me. And now let's listen to Jake talk about Glorified G.
Oh gosh, I love this song so much. Again, now we're tipping into some of the political stuff that would become more prominent that I absolutely love. That was formative. Glorified G is like, I think this is a precursor to sort of some of the more, dare I say, joyous, but kind of the more upbeat, family friendly rock that would become like some of the Yield stuff. It's kind of anthem-y. It's also like, it's a little silly. There's that fun little like, oh, made in America. Like there's like a little levity in this song. I have somewhere out there's an incredibly embarrassing tape of me as a preteen or a teenager, where I made a music video for this song, like of myself as like an angsty teen walking around town, which I did a lot of. Yeah.
I got to.
Yeah, exactly. And like pointing like a pellet gun around. Like I thought I was fucking cool. Cause I was all like fucking like, yeah, guns suck, but I got a pellet gun and they're fun. But man, I mean, Glorified G, like it's so good. It's such a fun song, which is, I think, unique, because I think up until this point there hasn't been fun. This is the very first fun Pearl Jam song, if we're gonna go chronologically through the albums. Like there isn't a song on 10 that I consider a fun song. This song is kind of fun. It's a head bopper.
Yeah, You don't think Black is a head bopper?
No,
Oh, man.
no, it doesn't have that same effect.
No, you're right. It was just so different than if you're listening to everything chronologically through 10 and then up to this point. I think this is the first song that actually is like, whoa, like, is that Pearl Jam? That's awesome, right? It's different. It was really weird, and like you said, he was a little quirky in the way that he sang, glorified. It was just different, right? So, and I remember hearing a version of this live because I think I had a live tape or two of Pearl Jam, and he'd said something like, "That's okay, man, because I love frogs." He like would throw in like weird things like that.
Sure.
Like, and that was fun. I didn't again connect with the political version of this or the politicalness of this song because I didn't necessarily think about that or didn't really care. But I did think that this was either going to be an anti-gun song or a pro-gun song, and I think Logic eventually won out and says, yeah, he's definitely anti-gun. I mean, in this scenario, so. It's whatever, right?
Well,
I mean,
again, this one stems from the drummer because this stemmed from a conversation where Dave told them that he just bought some guns. And literally, I think Eddie was picking on him because he was like, "Oh, you feel so manly now? Oh, yeah. Oh, you got arms now. Oh." And I think it kind of started as like this conversation about gun culture, but also like a little ribbing, like a little kind of
but he took that conversation and just made it into a song.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Into a really cool song.
By the way, this is all stuff that like I just read in like various Pearl Jam books and heard secondhand interviews. Don't take anything I say as rule. This all might be shit that somebody made up that I read once and took at face value. But that's my understanding.
If it's on Wikipedia, it counts.
There was a couple stand-up parts of the song though, so I really like when Eddie was belting out "Always Keep It Loaded." I love that part. I always would sing that with him. And then the Eddie part at the end where he's kind of screeching or screaming out "glorified," like when he's doing that at the end. I love that. I love that so much. So there was a really, really cool part here. Actually, those are the only two cool. The two parts that stuck out to me were that, and then also the guitar on this one just kind of solidified why I like it so much.
It's because it's country and funk at the same time. It's
I don't like either of those things though, and that's so weird. Like I don't like country, I don't like funk,
but you put them together.
I like this.
Yeah, and this is the first of a few tracks on this record where the funky vibe comes out in the guitar. The funk, whoever liked funk, and I think that I also read that they were not intending to like make a funk record or anything like that, but they were just kind of jamming out and it happened. And did you guys know Eddie Vedder hates guns? Because Eddie Vedder hates guns. Just that's a fun fact. If you didn't know that, Eddie Vedder does not like guns. And, he actually he says so much while saying so little. And this is kind of the genius of Eddie Vedder, right? And I love the sarcasm. And honestly, this one and the sentiment of this one really plays. How many years later are we? 30 years later. And it's insanely a hot button topic for good reason, whatever side of the conversation you're on. But I mean, the sarcasm that he loads into this song without like hitting you over the head with the sarcasm, right? Feels so manly when armed. It doesn't sound like he's making fun of gun owners, but he's making fun of gun owners. Like that's what he never shot at a living thing. Yeah. Like he's
using the argument. Well, that was an argument that was made. Like, oh, well, I have guns, but I'd never shoot at a living thing. Like, it's like the thing that people always say, like, oh, cool. So then,
and again, I'm not like anti-gun or making a statement or anything like that.
I am.
I mean, Eddie
adamantly, fuck your guns, fuck the Second Amendment.
Okay, well,
there it is.
Thank you. Just I don't know who listens to the show if they like that or not. I'm like in the middle with guns. Like I don't mind guns. Like I think if you want to have a gun, like I don't have one, but I'm not against it. But
I don't want to get shot at all.
I'm not. I don't know why anybody would really need to have an AR-15. Nobody's really explained that to me. No. So that's where I land. Not that we need to get political, but I love the way that Eddie Vedder puts the politics and puts his opinions in here without hitting you over the head with it, so that if you didn't care about the politics, you could still enjoy a funky track here at number 4 and a fun dancey track, whatever you want to call it, Jake.
Yeah.
All right, so the politicalness continues with Dissident, and Chris, you haven't started one off at all, I don't think. Why don't you go ahead?
I started off Animal, I think, but man, does this song sound super 90s? I think about like this. It's just the sound, right? It's just the vibe. It's the song itself. When I think of the 90s, I think of Dissident for some reason or another. And this one it's like it didn't get me super energetic to listen to it. It didn't hit as hard, but it had a vibe to it that you just kind of get engulfed in. So, and this one grew on me too, guys. I mean, so I didn't really love this one at first. It didn't hit me at first, but after listening to it, obviously a lot of times, I ended up really appreciating this track and getting into the music here. So even though, again, it doesn't really fit the bill of what I like so far on this album, what I gushed about, the music has a way of pulling you in, and it did. So maybe it was too bluesy for me. I don't even know if bluesy is the right word, but I just it took me some time, and I ended up liking it. But it was more, again, of a vibe song versus an energetic song for me. So that's really all I had to say. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, though.
I think this goes right back to what I was saying about them knowing he knows how to fucking start a song, and he's such a good storyteller. Like just like with Daughter, he immediately paints a picture when in all of these what I call the storytelling songs, right? The one where he's telling a fable of some sort. You think of like Daughter, like alone, listless, breakfast table in an otherwise empty room. Boom, you have the set. You can see it. If you close your eye, you can see it in your mind's eye. You can totally picture the setting, and a mood is set. And then you add that mood to the music you're hearing as if it's the score to a movie that he's telling you. And I think Dissident is the exact same way. Like she nursed him there. Ooh, over a night. Boom, I got it. Wasn't so sure that she wanted him to stay. Everything you need. Everything you need is right there. You understand the two relationships, even though you might know who these people are yet. Or you might not know who these people are yet. You understand their relationship. You can picture the setting, and the song adds to that. It's just fucking gorgeous. And I feel like this is one of those lean in kind of storytelling songs from Eddie, where you just go like, yeah, I want to know what's happening. I want to tell me the rest of the story.
Yeah, and the story itself, the song, it has a lot more lyrical content than anything that we've heard thus far on this record,
novel.
at least.
Yeah.
It's a longer story. Another story where the concept was way over my head for the time, you know, talking about a woman who takes in a political refugee or a fugitive and then gives that person up. To me, even if you don't get that, which I didn't get that, the hero of the song is that guitar line.
That 90s vibe I'm listening to. Yeah.
It's that is what drives the song to me. And again, looking at like the lyrics, and he's saying a whole lot more and painting this picture. Like you'd have to kind of read or understand the lyrics to understand exactly what that setting is and that picture is. But when you get it, it is a fable, and this is one of those songs. But the guitar line is the hero here for sure.
Also, the line "escape is never the safest place," even if you don't know what the song is about. I feel like anybody can take that lyric and apply it to some part of their life where they feel the need to escape, and how difficult something like that can be. Like you can take that completely out of context and make it so emotional to you in whatever context you decide to make it in. Like just fucking beautiful, beautiful poetic lyrics.
All right. Moving right along. WMA. Jake, you spoke a lot about this already and kind of gave the backstory.
One of my absolute favorites. Like I said, it all stemmed from him looking like a shit outside of the studio they were recording at. Got into a fight with the cops who were harassing some black guy who was there with them. And he was like, what the fuck you bothering him for? Like, got into an argument. Eventually, he got the cops to leave, and he was heated and he was all amped up, and he had all that 90s piss and vinegar and righteous social justice firing through his fucking blood. He came back in the studio, and the rest of the guys were just fucking tinkering with this groove, which is why I love about it is that they're at such combat with one another. Like this groove is such a chill kind of like, it has this kind of ethereal kind of vibe to it. And meanwhile, he's telling the story about fucking policemen harassing his brother. And it's this like kind of, what you end up with is this sort of like perfect kind of 90s, fucking ACAB, racial story that has this driving drum beat that's kind of, tons of reverb layered over it, and it's kind of ethereal, and it's like it's not quite there. It ends up feeling like a dream sequence in a way, and it's just gorgeous. One of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, for sure. Almost like a tribal sound. Like I think it has that, like, that beat to it. And I love this song too. I thought it was so unique and different. Everything you said, right? I'm not going to repeat it, but it just, man, it's this one again, like, going through. Yes, I wasn't. Admittedly, I wasn't as big a fan of Dissonant the first time through, but this brought me right back in, and I belted out the lyrics of this song every time it came on. It was just so easy to do that. This got my energy back into this album. I could remember, and even though like this one also had a little bit of funk in it, right? Like this.
A little bit.
It's definitely got a little bit more funky with the guitar. It's so much. It's so interesting how, again, I don't like funk music, but Pearl Jam makes me like this kind of thing. Like it just makes it better. It enhances it for me and what I'm listening to. So, and also the chorus on this one, I love the chorus, and it's that raw energy. It's the way that he emotes the words, and just like we've been talking about, he makes the lyrics bigger. He makes the lyrics sound just so important and bigger in your ear, and he does the same thing here. So the uniqueness of the song goes such a long way. I was a huge fan. Steve.
Yeah, I mean, there's like the congas or the bongos, whatever they are, that kind of give it that funky, you said tribal or like Moroccan, whatever kind of sound it is. There's some quite inaudible lyrics at the beginning of this one. Right. In terms of an album track, like, I don't know. I didn't like this one as much as you guys. I wouldn't say that this song like rocks or by any means. Yeah. It kind of drones on.
But I think it's
really long.
But I think that's kind of why I like it, is for that reason. It feels like a slow march, kind of like the continual slow march of racism in America.
Listen, I appreciate what he's saying and what he's bringing to light. And again, it's another topic that is still very topical 30 fucking years later. Yeah. And there's some major events in the past, 3-4 years that we could cite that this would be the perfect anthem for. But as a song, I don't know. As a casual listener in this album, this is not one that like stands out to me. A 6-minute song where it droned on for me. That's all.
Okay.
A little too much. That's bongos.
Fine. Did Blood have bongos for you?
No, Blood sounds like I feel like I'm in like a garage in the 90s listening to them like come up and play this song. Another one that features that funk guitar. Yep. Another one where relatively few words to get the point across. I like that he references himself, paint Ed big, turn Ed into one of his enemies. I guess kind of talking about like the media, what they're doing to him.
This was sort of his first song about being a famous musician. Which, again, talking about Prince, there's definitely some crossover there as far as like, yeah, this is what it's like to be in the spotlight. And this is literally my blood. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah, Prince or the starting line, whatever comparison that you want to make. These are basically the same acts.
I mean, I'm gonna go Annie DeFranco over starting line, but that's just my brand of music, I suppose.
So, okay. But when he says turn Ed into one of his enemies, what's he talking about? Is he talking about a guy that he would not have liked himself? He's turned himself into. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assessment. That's one way to look at it. I don't know that I've ever kind of explored that specific metaphor, but yeah, that sounds like it, like turning you into something that you hate, essentially. Just like, oh, you're gonna make me just some
rock star,
MTV rock star puppet, and yeah, which is a thing that I have disdain for.
Sucking his blood dry. But I did like this song a lot. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Great. Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
I got nothing more to add. I mean, it's one of my all-time favorite Pearl Jam songs. That
Jake has said that about every song so far.
That use well, this is one of my all-time favorite Pearl Jam albums. So if you want some that are not my all-time favorites, we got to go. We got to go deeper in the wheel. We got to go listen to self-titled Avocado. Yeah, I mean the combination of funk musical phrases and pure unadulterated rage, those two things are married so well in this song.
Yeah, you actually stole that right from out from underneath me. It's how do you put those two things together and it just works. And I don't know, like, where else do they do this?
And he also then sets up a later song on the album by ending it by calling them rats, to then later have a song about rats. And I'm just like, fuck, this guy's great.
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't know that this just opened up a brand new door that was locked.
It's almost a bummer that Rearview Mirror is in between the two and that Rats doesn't come right next, because then it would almost be as if like he's leading right into like, yeah, okay, guess what? Not only am I calling you guys rats, but rats are better than you, so it's not even a fair assessment.
You know what, though? But I loved Blood for all the reasons you guys said, but one of the other reasons I love this song is that it led right into the next song. Yeah. And it seamlessly goes into Rearview Mirror, which, are we ready to talk about this?
Go for it.
To me, guys, and this is my take, like, this might be one of, if not like top two or the best Pearl Jam songs that ever, in my opinion. I can't tell you that I have another song that there's another song that they have that I've listened to on repeat as many times as I've gone and listened to Rearview Mirror. I love this song so much for so many different reasons, but it's that infectious melody, that that simplified, just backing guitar, but it gets so, again, it gets chaotic. There's such a driving just riff on this song, and it's one of the best ever builds to a chorus. But here's the funny thing, like, it builds, but then there's nothing, and then it builds again. And by the time you get to what I consider the chorus, and it's the part where he just belts out Rearview Mirror, saw things so much clearer, in my rearview mirror. Like, that to me is the crescendo. That's the chorus, in my opinion. And we've been building to that the whole time. And I think the payoff is astonishing. It's outstanding. It's there. Like, the payoff is worth all of it up to that point. I get so amped up when listening to this song. And again, I can just listen to it over and over. I can sing it over and over. I may not know all the words because some of them kind of don't make the kind of garbled, but God, I mean, this is just one of my favorite songs of all time. It is one of my favorite songs of all time. Pearl Jam or not, I love Rearview Mirror. What about you guys?
Steven?
Jake. Jake? Steven? Me? Jake?
You, me? Yeah, I mean, this is I second all of that, obviously. It's funny that you say that it gets you amped. So this is, in my opinion, this is one of like the saddest songs of all time. Even though there's a lot of glory in it. So as an actor, I have triggers that I use in certain roles, and this is one of my two musical triggers. If I need to cry. If I need to cry and get myself into an emotional state, the two songs are Ben Folds' Narcolepsy, but specifically the one with the big orchestra that he did in Australia, and Rearview Mirror. These two songs, all I need to do is just put on headphones, just go stand in a corner for a little while, and by the end of the song, I'll be ready to shoot. Rearview Mirror is like one of the most beautiful, even though it's like, it's about something ultimately good. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the meaning. I know you said that you don't really look too much into some of the meanings, Chris, but obviously his relationship with his fuck all stepfather is very well documented, Eddie's, and this story is about leaving that stepfather behind in his rearview mirror, essentially, and like allowing himself the emotional release of not just physically putting him in his rearview mirror, but emotionally doing so. And man, that just fucking wrecks me every time. And it's sang with such power. Like, this is such a great thing, but the lyrical content and what it takes to get to that great thing is so sad. It's that, like I said, he's such a great storyteller. It's that scene in the movie where you're so happy that somebody got the thing that they escaped the horrible thing, whether it's metaphorical or not, whether it's literally a fucking monster or like they escaped this horrible thing, and they're smiling, but they're crying because now they're allowed to process what they've gone through. And that's what Rearview Mirror is. Rearview Mirror is like every horrible experience I've had, every, psychological shit from my childhood that I can hear in the lyrics, that I can, even though our exact situations are different, there are a lot of similarities between Eddie's story and my own. And so it's really easy for me to like put myself in the singer's perspective. And fuck, man, this song just, it absolutely wrecks me every single time. I will be driving, it'll come on, and like I'll have 4 other things going on. I'll be texting, and by the end of the song, I'm like emotional and I'm crying, and I'm like, I wasn't even paying attention. And it still gets you.
And let me clarify real quick. So when I say amped, I don't mean that, I want to ride in the back of a pickup truck with an air horn, hooting and hollering.
No,
that's
no,
not really what.
But no, but it's a driving, like I get what you're saying though. It gets you because, like I said, there's a level of glory to it. Like, yes. When I see you in my rearview mirror, the way that he fucking screams, and you've got that screaming guitar solo, Mike McCready below him.
Amazing.
It like there is a passion to it that is glorious, that feels victorious.
And I would make it more like, in my personal experiences, like, relationships that weren't that good, and I was moving past them at the time. Totally. That fit perfectly, into listening to this.
And that's that plays into what we were talking about earlier about like there's always this duality between the lyrics where they're just vague enough to where you can really put your own meaning on so many of these things and find something. And the fact that he's singing it so passionately allows you to put whatever your passions or whatever you're feeling into that. Fucking great.
1,000,000%. Steve, what did you think?
Man, how do you make a song that can drum up all of these feelings and put people in these spots, but have it still feel like it's like a road trip song?
Right.
Like you could put this on a long road trip and just like jam to it. But then if you're looking into the details of it, this is your trigger song that can, put you in the spot where if you need to get into a scene and shed some tears, they can do it. Like, man, like a lot of the road trip songs that I think of as like open road songs are not like that.
No,
they're like, they're like, fucking in the road, I'm running.
Like Eve Six's highway, or like Eve Six's open road song.
Eve Six's open road song. Exactly. Yes.
Jake, does Life as a Highway make you cry as well?
For a different reason, because of that. Because it reminds me of when Michael Scott and Holly broke up. That's why. Yeah,
that was devastating to me. I would like to put that in my rearview mirror.
Okay, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. It doesn't know any.
But listen, you guys said more than I could say about the song because I don't have as much of a history with it, but I dug this song a lot. I just kind of enjoyed vibing out to it, and I felt like it was a road trip song. And not having that history and not knowing all that stuff, it's just fucking crazy to me that a song could seem like a road trip song to one person and a triggered song to like emote all the emotions for another person. I think I'm becoming more of a Pearl Jam fan as we record.
Fucking
this.
better be.
Shit.
Greatest band of all time.
This is like this is a great album to start with. So I mean, maybe I can understand that.
No, I mean, listen, I've listened to 10, I've listened to Vitality. Those 3 I definitely have history with.
Right. I would start you here before Vitality though.
No, but I'm saying I don't need to be started.
The point is
I've got a little bit. I've got a
I
base.
get it. I understand. I'm just saying like,
but I'm
just
getting into
it's the one with daughter.
For you guys out there, I would start you here versus Vitality. I would say start here. Maybe 10, but definitely here. So,
all right, let's talk about
Rats.
Let's talk about the voice, the decision to do what he does with his voice in the beginning of this, where it is, he could have started this song a million ways. He's got a lot of vocal qualities that but he decided with, I don't sleep, don't eat. And it is the best fucking start to a song. It is so weird and fun and it's kind of odd, and the lyrics are, I think, in this one very clear, whereas you mentioned like sometimes we can't understand what the fuck he's saying. This one's pretty blatant, and the metaphor, in my opinion, is pretty blatant. And it starts with this, I mean, the weird ass like ride cymbal bell that he hits, like that Dave hits occasionally. It's an odd song. And then it cultivates in what is like this beautiful, again, he's so good at creating these songs that turn into this kind of anthem style wall of sound. And by the end of the song, it's just that wall of sound. And considering where it started, it's just fucking great. Also, yeah, I mean, listen, you're Steve, you're a New Yorker too. Like, I mean, listen, any song about rats is going to be close to our heart.
Don't get too close to rats, folks. I would say that. The bass lines in this, the bass lines are crazy. And so like, the concept, if whoever is not, rats are more admirable than humans.
Yes.
Like rats are better than humans.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. I love the concept of the song, and I love the music in this song, but I don't get all the metaphors because I don't really get it, because he says things that like rats do, and he says things that like rats don't do, right? They don't push, they don't crowd, congregate till they're much too loud, fuck to procreate till they are dead, drink the blood of their so-called friend. So rats do that.
Okay,
people don't.
I think the idea is that some of these are about actual rats and some are about human beings. And the point, the point is you can't even differentiate.
That
was my interpretation.
That's a good interpretation because he goes back and forth.
Yeah, of course.
He lists a group of things that rats do.
Yes, exactly.
And then a bunch that rats don't do, and things like humans do or don't. Right. And he goes back and forth. So it's not like ambiguous, like he's saying one thing. He's going back and forth doing this Eddie Vedder thing where he's making us think about the fucking lyrics that he's writing.
Dickhead and his higher thought.
Damn your higher thought. But again, I really, really liked the concept and the music. I thought this song was awesome.
Great.
We're here almost the end of the rag. Number 9. This is where you throw a song that's stupid or a throwaway. But and maybe Rats is a sillier song, but I liked it. I thought it was fantastic
and a precursor to Bugs, in my opinion. part of the Creature series that we're still waiting on the trilogy. We're still waiting on the 3rd.
Is that I see Bugs like at a completely other level. We'll talk about that. I someday we will.
That's a song, Bugs?
Yeah, it's
yes,
off of No Code, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Is that No Code or is that Vitology?
Maybe Vitology. It's not like I have all of them in front of me. They all blend together.
Vitology.
You're probably right.
Because I remember listening to that one many, many times. But yeah, I think you guys said it all. I don't have much more to add here. I enjoyed this one. I didn't get into it as much though as you guys did, but I definitely enjoyed it. It wasn't a skip. I just thought it was different, and I didn't mind the length of it. I thought it's okay. Rats. I don't know. Not much more to say.
Ratones. Well, I think so. Eddie, I think named this a long name because people criticized him that most of their songs have short names.
Yeah, I think that was the bit.
So he named this Elderly Woman Behind the Counter in a Small Town. It kind of feels like a Fall Out Boy 2004 type of title there. So precursor to that. The story of a woman stuck in a small town her whole life. And listen, we haven't had, have we had another ballad?
This is
a ballad type song.
I think
on
it's
this
not,
record.
No, I don't think it's not necessarily that it's necessarily a ballad, but that it is the acoustic soft. This is the birth of that other branch that we would see so much of in the future for Pearl Jam. I think this is like, we can do a song like this. We could throw an acoustic guitar and not really worry too much about the rest of the instrumentation and get away with it.
And his voice sounds fantastic in a ballad. And I really like the storytelling aspect of this one. Totally. Again, this is one of the storytelling ones. There's a little more lyrics. To me, it's funny. There's not really like a chorus, right? I mean, there's hearts and thoughts. They fade away.
That's it. Yeah.
I guess that's the chorus, but is this potentially like the origin of the punk rock, like I need to get the fuck out of my hometown type song that every
I
pop
mean,
punk band has.
I mean, if you're not going to give that to like the likes of the like Bruce Springsteens of the world, I don't know. I don't think you're going back far enough. I'm pretty sure that's been around forever.
Nah, we don't take it. We don't take Bruce into the boss doesn't enter into our conversations.
Well, then you're doing something wrong.
Jersey Zone, New Jersey Zone.
New Jersey Zone. But
The god of
I
New
think
Jersey.
this is a fantastic ballad or acoustic, whatever you want to call it. This one is great. And I think this was not a single, but it was so popular and people liked it so much that it ended up charting, which is an interesting fact.
I think it was one of those things
radio.
that it wasn't pushed by the studio, but the radio, the DJs just played it. And I think it's one of those songs where it's like, yeah, we like this song, so we're going to play the song. And then
I think it was also like a B-side, like when they used to sell like singles, single CDs or cassettes.
I have a bunch of those.
It was on one of those as the second song.
I think I got burned out on this song because it was on the radio so much at the time. It's like, man, okay, I heard this a lot. You know, it was everywhere. People like this. They love to sing it. It's easy to sing.
I played this at a high school talent show, if I'm not mistaken. This was the first. This is the very first Pearl Jam song I ever learned to play, and one of the last that I ever learned to play. Because I was like, oh, you know what? It's funner when I don't know, but it's also like it's a real four chord Glory kind of tune, and it's like folksy acoustic guitar, so it's a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, and you still get that emotion in the song too with the Eddie Vedder lyrical, I guess, explosion. Like he comes in hard for some of these lyrics with a ton of emotion, almost, gets a little bit more aggressive. And I'm looking at the it's I just had the lyric and I can't find
it. My God, it's been so long, never dreamed you'd return.
That's it.
Yeah.
He comes in real heavy right there, and I actually really like that part. So to me, it's like it's the perfect balance, guys. I mean, this is a great song.
He puts like just enough stink on the dream, just enough stink on it where you go, all right, put a little mustard on there.
Yeah, this is a song that's like it's good for I think anybody would like this song because it has just what you need.
This might have been one of the ones that my wife likes.
See? Yeah. Oh, all of a sudden she liked Pearl Jam. Oh.
I think she liked this one, maybe Yellow Lead better. I can't remember.
Of course.
It's very rare that one comes on.
She needs to sign up for the fan club now because she's a fan.
I'm going to try and get her on for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Leash. I guess I'll start this one off. Man, did I love this track.
Yes.
This is great. This might be like I don't want to give away Rankin It, but this is definitely one of the faves. This one has definitely a gold star next to it, Steve. I
didn't realize that you started using colored pencils.
Well, for this album, you have to. You have to put that extra on it. And this is a song that I love so much, but I can tell you that when I would play this album in my parents' car, I definitely would try and skip past it because he dropped several F-bombs, and I was like, it's kind of awkward. I don't know. I'm just going to skip past this. I'll have to deal with that awkward silence of listening to F's while I'm in the car with my parents. Not that they would have done anything or said anything, but it's just, I just didn't feel, it felt weird.
Christopher, what is this filth you're listening to? Oh, so
F-bombs are just part of the culture vulgar. In New York.
I think my dad gave me a hard time about Vitology. He was like, what is this album you got? Like, how do I know what that means? It's can't be anything good.
What is a foxy mop handle, mama?
I wouldn't have an answer for that, to be honest with you.
I don't think anybody does.
Silent, but
if this song, I mean, Leash is fucking, it's incredible. Again, this is more of that anthem style that I love. Yeah. I feel like if this track came out years later on Yield, it would fit in perfectly. Because it has that anthem. I mean, gang vocals. Like, come on, how often does Pearl Jam feature gang vocals? That right there is like a sidestep on its own. But I also think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe some of the more diehard Pearl Jam live folks out there, because it has been quite a few years since I've been a part of the like Pearl Jam tour scene where I'm like checking to see what the set lists are and that kind of stuff, which is what I was for a long time. I think this one had to get pulled from the rotation because I don't think he can sing it anymore. Because this is one of the, when it comes to vocal range, this is one of the highest Pearl Jam songs as far as the size from the top note to the bottom note. And if I'm not mistaken, for at least a little while, it might not be still the case, but for at least a little while there in like the 2000 and teenage, I don't think he could do it anymore. I think it's just a little bit.
Oh, that's too bad. He couldn't bring it down an octave and like kind of do it.
Maybe just have the crowd do it. Have the crowd. But I think because it's so much, I think because the entire song is up to, I mean, it literally starts with just like, come on, no, you're not. Like, it's just, it starts at the topmost peak. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the extent of it.
We would all agree. Like, would you agree that this is the most anthemic song? You said that on this album, like by far.
Oh,
like,
absolutely. It makes you just fucking want to march down the street and fucking fuck shit up.
100%. 100%. I think that there's so much fun about this song. Is just so well put together. I love that chorus. You could just continue to sing. Oh, I would drop so many F-bombs all over the place because of this song. So it was awesome. Steve.
Yeah, something about this one to me was just different and really cool. Like, it was hectic. It has cool guitars. It has these strange little sections. You guys mentioned some of the different vocal cadences, and then the ending is like a total jam band type ending. So I think they did something really different here than what we've heard so far, and I think it tracked. I think it worked really well. I like this one.
I'd like to continue to sing Drop the Leash, We Are Young. I don't know if that works anymore for me. But I'll continue.
Yeah, and
I still feel pretty young.
I do think this is also a continuation of Blood, where I think this is about the label, if I'm not mistaken. Which is funny because I have always, I feel like I associate the song with like a pro-union. Like I always associate it as like a workers' anthem. But it makes, I guess it's sort of similar. There's a Venn diagram there of the two, of like it's about the man. You know what I mean?
I was doing a little fact check, Jake,
oh, yeah?
going back to some of these set lists. And Pearl Jam is a difficult band to check set lists because they change it up so much. But they did play it on this current tour.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, one of the songs in Madison Square Garden, September 4th, this was part of the encore. Jesus Christ. There's like 10 songs in the fucking encore.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour show minimum. It's the best show you'll ever see. Maybe second only to The Boss.
Yeah, fourth last song they did Leash.
Oh, that's awesome. I do know for a while they did stop playing it at some point because I remember it being a thing on like the forums and stuff, people talking about it, and I assumed it was because he just couldn't do it vocally, but maybe that's not the case anymore. Or was maybe it's because
Springsteen reference, by the way.
What did you say?
Was that another Springsteen reference?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean when it comes to the live show, and there's a reason why the two of them, why he looks up to him so much. I think you can't talk about Pearl Jam without talking about Bruce Springsteen. I think they're kind of like one leads to the other in such a very clear and derivative way.
Really?
100%. Literally, you don't need to see it. He has explicitly said that he is one of his biggest inspirations.
Yeah, people talk. I talk a lot. You don't know.
But anyways, I forgot what I was saying. But fucking this song is aces, and I love it, and I'm glad that they're playing it again. If that is the case,
at least one of the. Right. I looked through 4 sets, and that was on one of them.
And apparently, the way it works is like Eddie locks himself in the dressing room the afternoon of every show, and like writes out that night set list, and it's different every night. And then he publishes it, and he likes to handwrite it. And he literally learned calligraphy because he wanted to improve his handwriting because he wanted the set list to look nice. And he was like, it's a thing to do. I'm sitting in the fucking dressing room all day after sound check. And so I do think he, at least nowadays with like social media and stuff, like 10 Club publishes his list that he like they take a picture of it and like put it online so you could see all.
I wonder, do they give that set list, like, I think the concerts that I go to, they usually throw those to fans at the end. Those must go for like some bank.
I do think that they've auctioned some off for like charities, but I do think that sometimes they give them to people in the seats, the good seats, those expensive folks.
I think that I think you guys are way off because I think that this song, actually, we talked about the fact that Animal, it's a song about the cover Animal on the album Versus. This song actually is a continuation of that song because, obviously he had to, when he caught it and it became his quote unquote daughter, because, my girl, right? My pet, some people say that. he wanted to drop the leash and let her free because, eventually, tamed or whatever, the goat or the alpaca could go around the house without a leash. So I think that's kind of what he's getting at here. And, I just thought of that right now and it all comes together. So
Feeling like a freak on a leash.
that's not, no,
No, you don't like that connection?
no.
You're giving him shit for his bit after that nonsense?
Because he's bringing up corn on the Pearl Jam show.
Yeah, he's bringing up corn.
Springsteen, Aerosmith,
Yeah,
Prince, corn. We're all in the same vicinity.
Eddie
guys.
eats a lot of corn because he's a vegetarian, which is why he wanted you to drop the leash because he doesn't want you to be leashing animals. He wants to hug the goat. Listen, it's all full circle here, Chris.
Jake, let's not get ridiculous. Come on.
Oh gosh. All right.
I'm starting to feel.
bad,
I'm starting
or
to feel indifferent.
There we go. This was actually a closer. I'm just sitting here going through all of the set lists and trying to see what they've been playing, and I have not found Leash another time. I found Indifference once, and they closed the encore with this.
Yeah.
So we'll close the album with it. Jake, go ahead.
I feel like I've heard this live a lot as a like. All right, we've played everything. We're gonna just jam out for like another 10 or 15 minutes, and then send the people home happy. Because this is very much, in my opinion, like one of those, like this, when they do this live, it just goes on for as long as they decide for it to go on. I don't have like, out of all the songs, this is the one that I have like the sort of the least opinion of because it's such a vibe. And I definitely had this as a single as well. On one of these CDs here, I had like this and one other song. But yeah, I mean, listen, this is how you wrap an album that has been just like fucking balls to the wall for the vast majority of it, is you just kind of vibe out.
Steve?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the slowest song on the record. It's kind of acid trippy with the floaty guitar and the reverb and the maraca or whatever that tapping is. I don't know. I guess this is kind of one of those slow last songs to the album, whereas like if you love this album for 30 whatever years, that maybe you love it, but it's not really a highlight for me. Not knowing this song, it didn't do all that much for me. I was not super excited about it.
Yeah, look, I don't think that if I'm going to rank these songs on this album, that this one's going to be in the top, half. I could probably guess that there's going to be people out there that really love this one and may even like it the best just because they like the vibe. Like Jake said, this has a vibe to it. And if you like this type of thing, I mean, this very surreal type sound, a little bit different. Obviously, it's a different Eddie Vedder. This is a subdued Eddie Vedder versus an angry or aggressive Eddie Vedder like you got on Leash. If you're into this more so than the other guy, this is your jam. This song actually did have some juice a little bit later into it, so a little bit, right? A little bit. Yeah. You got a little bit, on the uppity side, but for the most part, it is what it was. They did some cool things with organs. There's some really good music in here, and again, you can get lost in the vibe if you let yourself go. But ultimately, I just think there was so much better on here that I could personally get into. This one never really stood out, and I was really looking forward to getting back to the beginning of the album again when I got to this song. So
interesting. Yeah, this is one of those songs that I think also grew on me in like later age, where the lyrics meant so much more to me. I mean, even today, they mean so much more to me now. At on the other side of 40, with a lot of shit behind me. And all the fucking scars from all the mistakes I made. Like, I think there's definitely some lines in this that as a kid, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fun and poetic. But like as a guy with bad knees and stubborn as a mule, I hear a line like, I won't change direction, but I might change my mind. Oh, that is like, to me, I feel that in my bones right now. Whereas like, I think as a teenager listening to this, I was just like, yeah, it's cool. I don't know what it means, but it sounds deep, bro.
Doctors might recommend some ibuprofen for that a few times a day.
I have like the arthritis cream now, Steve. It's not going well over here. Okay,
Dude, I'm about to get an MRI on my shoulder, so I cannot speak to medical bullshit.
How much difference does it make?
Look, if you're out there chasing down alpacas to try and tame them and put a leash on them, then of course your knees might be messed up at this point in time or sore.
Good point. Good point.
So it all wraps up and it all makes sense. Hopefully you guys out there, can pick up what I'm putting down. But the next segment here is one of my favorite. And by the way, we did it. We got through the album, but now comes the moment of truth where we get to rank our top 3 favorite songs. That's right. This is Ranking It, the arguably the best part of every show that we have. Steve might argue that, but I will not. Guys, we want to know what your top 3 songs are on this album, and this is going to be tough for me. I always say it's probably tough for you guys that love this. I know it's going to be tough for me, Jake. I don't know. I have no idea what you're going to field. Steve, up in the air. But guests are always first. So, Jake, what are your top 3 in order?
I hate
3,
this segment.
2, 1.
I hate this
3,
segment,
2, 1.
and I hate everything about all of this. And I would
This
like
is the best segment
to
on High School
shut
Never
it
End the Show.
down. I mean, if you're forcing me to pick 3, I'll probably do
order.
Blood, Rearview Mirror, and Go, or WMA Tide. I don't know. It's impossible. It's so fucking mood driven. But those would be my highlights. If you're forcing me to pick 3, I'm gonna do Blood, Rearview Mirror, and Go.
I was forcing you, and thank you. That's a good top 3. You did fantastic.
And I choose. I have remained the right to change my mind at any given moment in time.
Jake, that might have been the best Ranking It list that I've ever heard. So you did amazing. We're going to keep it going because of that. So thank you. We appreciate it.
That's what Chris says every time. He goes, I might change my mind tomorrow. This is just this moment in Ranking It. I'm gonna go number 3, Ratonis. I'm gonna go with Rats, my number 3 song. Maybe a little surprise. Number 2,
especially because you seemed like you were bothered by the lyrical content earlier. Did I win you over?
I was no. I enjoyed it,
right,
but I didn't totally get it.
Oh, it was a thinker.
Was a thing.
Right.
And it made me think, and it made me enjoy it.
Right.
Number 2, I'm going to go with one of the real big songs. I'm going to go with Daughter, because it's a fucking awesome song. Yeah. And again, getting into the details of what it's really about made me kind of feel the feels. And I think my favorite song is going to be Elderly Woman Behind the Counter in a Small Town. I'm going with the ballad.
I like it.
You want mellow.
I like it.
Very
you want mellow.
Chillin'.
That's why they call you Mellow Steve, I think, right?
Even Steven. That's right.
Even Steven. This is super easy, guys. There's no doubt about it. I've been waiting to give this top 3 for so many years. I've been thinking about it. And now is finally the time, the culmination of this. So really, number 3 has to be Animal. Number 2 is clearly Go. And number 1 by leaps and bounds is Rearview Mirror. That is the top 3 on this album. I would debate anybody about that. So please come on the show and debate me if you want. But guys, I think that it's clear that we all love this album to a certain degree. Steve, listening to it for the first time, or not the first time, but really kind of getting immersed into it for the first time. Love the perspectives. I thought like you came a little bit different than we did on a lot of the points. We like some songs you didn't, and you joined us in liking some other ones. But that said, I'm not going to ask you specifically how it compares to the rest, Steve, because I don't know how much of the other albums that you know. But can you kind of give a synopsis on what you felt about your first official full time through the album verses?
I don't know that I agree with that, because I definitely have listened to it, just not immersed in it. But
that's what I said, though.
Ranking it, we had like 8 or 9 different tracks out of these 12. That's a dynamic album. Listen, I listened to 10. I listened to all the hits. I listened to Vitalogy. I owned them. I don't know. Those are a trifecta of Pearl Jam albums that have been born into our brains as teens in the 90s, and they're all fantastic. But giving this a deep dive, this might be the best one. I think this might be the best one. I like Jake's trees thing and the seeds and the leaves, and it's fall and whatever. So maybe that added to it, but I don't know. This might be the best one.
Isn't fall when like the trees die though? Like they don't sprout.
I mean, but the leaves, and it's pretty, and
okay.
Yeah, they're dying, but they're changing colors for our pleasure.
I see Pearl Jam as a fall band. Like it
I could
feels
see that
fall
too.
to me.
Yeah, Pearl Jam is folly. They're not like a summer band.
Or spring, but I like fall better.
Also because I now for some reason associate them so much with baseball because of their affiliation with the Cubs and because of like Let's Play 2 and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's baseball season. It's like fall. I feel like I'll co-sign that. Also, favorite band, favorite season. I can't argue that at all.
Let's go, Mets.
So, Jake, where does this album stack up?
Against all of the Pearl Jam studio albums? I mean,
Yes.
I love all of them.
And the live albums.
And
make sure
I have
that you've listened to
70,
every single one.
All right, so in between 1 and 70.
State College, Pennsylvania live album.
I don't know.
Really good.
I'm gonna say that like I have such a strong love for really every single Pearl Jam album, all for very different reasons. I still to this day say that I don't think it's the best album as far as like objectively speaking, but Yield is my favorite Pearl Jam album because of where I was in my life when it came out and how it changed the course of like the person I would eventually become. Cause I was like that perfect teenage age to be like more invested in it than you should be, you know? So when I just listen to a Pearl Jam album, if I'm just going to put something on, I always go for Yield first, which is maybe a mistake because their discography is just so perfect and so deep. But I would argue that like out of all the other albums, I put Versus, No Code, and Backspacer probably as like the three that are, you know, all equally perfect. And my second rung, if I had to tier it out, these would be kind of my second rung albums for all of them. And 10 obviously is like this perfect introduction, but there's something about it being the first album that's like, it's become novel in a way that's like, I don't know this. I have a weird connection to it because it's the first one. But yeah, I don't know.
Jake has been gripping his literal media the entire conversation, the last like 5 minutes.
It's really made me want to like open. I forgot how good their packaging is. Oh my God. Everything has like a book. Look at Backspacer. It comes with this beautiful booklet and it's this fantastic art and everything is handwritten. Fuck, Pearl Jam is great. Also, I need to finish my vinyl collection because I have a few of their albums, but I want Pearl Jam is one of those bands that I want it all.
Do you have the alternate Llama?
I don't have the alternate Llama. I have the regular Llama, and I'm really upset that I don't, which is why I asked if you still had it, because I will at one point make you sell it to me.
I do. I have it. I just can't get to it. It's. I know where it's at. I can't get to it right now, but the Llama is looking to the left, completely to the left. It's amazing. You've never seen this before. I can't wait for you to see it. Actually,
I have seen the image. Like I've seen it online, and I've seen photos
in real life, though.
But no, I haven't held it. Life. You're right,
guys. I mean, this is tough for me too. I love No Code. I love like No Code was, you know, senior year, getting into college. Yield was like my college years. You know, just getting into it. Those two albums are super special to me. Vitology was all over high school, and I remember just like talking about it every day. Versus I talked to you guys about 10, my first ever CD, and just kind of getting into the whole grunge scene as a kid, right? I was much younger then, but so it's challenging. But I think I gotta go. Versus is my favorite album. I have to, just for the reasons I said. Like it was 10. 10 was 10, like you said.
Right.
But Versus had a different vibe to it that felt a little bit just, it just was different, but it was better in a lot of ways. And different it felt just more emotional. Like it felt
more authentic.
A little bit darker, authentic.
Yeah.
It wasn't as like arena-ish type of rock. It just was closer to me. And I love that. And I love this album. So I'm going to go with this as my favorite one, but the rest of them, geez, I mean, ask me on any day and it could be a different order. I don't know. So that's my opinion.
Oh, I forgot about Lightning Bolt. Oh God, there's so many good albums. This band is so fucking great.
Jake just went from 6 to midnight. Thank you so much, Jake Lloyd Bacon. The first time that you have been invited on the show to talk about music. How did it feel?
It was great. I was a little angry that Chris agreed with me and liked this album. I was hoping to fight him. I had all of my Weezer stings that I was going to punch him with. And now I can't do any of that because we agree on everything. And it's kind of, honestly, it's a bummer. So I'm giving this 1 out of 5 stars.
I think it was refreshing. I don't know. It just I never thought it was possible, ladies and gentlemen, that me and Jake could agree so much on something. So we finally did it. I
promise it won't happen again, listeners. I'm sorry.
There's nowhere to go from here, honestly. So, but we know that anytime we cover a Pearl Jam album, there's a good chance that we may agree again. But Steve, again, love the feedback on the album, and hopefully you guys out there enjoyed what we had to say about Versus. If you did, we'd love to hear from you. Give us your feedback. If you have Apple Podcasts, obviously give us a written review, not just about this episode, but the entire show. If you really enjoyed yourself, give us a 5-star review. It really helps the show. It makes us feel amazing when you do that. And don't forget to check out the shop. We have some awesome stuff that you can purchase. You can find our shop and also all of our socials, which Steve's going to tell you about at our hub. And that hub is www.hsnepod.com. Go check it out.
That's right. We're on the socials at HSNEpod, Instagram, Facebook. We have a Discord. Go to hsnepod.com and you can check it out. Jake, anything else you want to plug before we wrap it all up?
No, I mean, you guys know who I am at this point. You find me on the socials at Jake Lloyd Bacon. I rarely use them, especially because I just moved and I've just been completely unplugged from all of society. But other than that, I've got a feature film out there. It's a few years old now, but watch it with your family around the holidays and everybody will enjoy it. It's called Pinch. It's available on Amazon. You can purchase it for a measly $10 and I barely get any of that. And I have still yet to make my money back on the movie. So do me a solid. Go buy Pinch, add it to your digital library on Amazon now. I guess that's all the stuff to plug. Make sure you're following Dragon Wagon Radio at It's Dragon Wagon. And check out all the other fantastic shows that are available. And just generally, support all the stuff that we do and support the guys here at High School Never Ends. They bust their ass. I'm going to tell you right now, they're the most consistent show of the entire network. As far as never missing shows, as far as just generally being always excited and always having something on the docket and coming up with new ideas and having theme months. And they work really, 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 really hard. They don't have any ads on their show. They're not selling ad space. So if you're listening to this program and you're enjoying what they do, please consider going and buying some merchandise. Consider leaving ratings and reviews, doing all that kind of stuff. It goes a long way. Also, I'm going to eventually, just so you guys know, I'm going to convince these two schmucks to start a Patreon because it's kind of absurd at this point that they don't have one, because I'm sure all of you would love to show them a little support at some point. So just know that I'm going to start working on that, and we're going to get you some fun bonus content. I'm going to put them on the docket for that, because they're already doing like an extra episode every month now. They're throwing out Sunday episodes like I have the goddamn time. So you know what? I think eventually we're going to have to start putting some stuff on a Patreon is all I'm trying to say. Sorry.
As soon as Jake tells us what a Patreon is, maybe we will do that. And
are you serious?
Stay tuned.
How old? All right, listen. It's bad enough that you still have commercials where you go, I'm a 30-something pop punk dag. Motherfucker, you're 40, okay? But
yeah,
it doesn't mean...
haven't updated our commercials. But nobody listening to this show hears the commercials.
That's a good point. But nobody shouldn't know what Patreon is at this point. Are you kids?
Jake, I was being silly. It was funny
I know what
for
it
the
is.
audience. Damn it.
You're very... Listen,
ruined
you should be an actor.
my joke.
You should be an actor.
I could be. If you have any connections out there in La La Land, you just let me know. Yes, all those things Jake said. We'll listen to his pitch on Patreon. If you would support us, send us a message or just, send us some money, whatever. We'll be back next week. Alt-ober continues. We have a couple left in the bag. We have special Sunday episodes in the bag every Sunday because we have to make Jake work.
No, every Sunday? No, you don't. Wait, did you say...
on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock
and blast the alternative grunge music.
Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out DragonWagonShop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's DragonWagonShop.com.
It's Dragon Wagon.